I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
We are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we are watching Steins Gate, Season 1, Episode 3. Diet Ocarine is currently thinking one thing. In Episode 1, we had a sender that went by the name SG-EPK at JTK92.X29.JP. And I am currently thinking that means Steins Gate dash L Psi Kungru at John Tidor Kioma 92x29, which are mirrors of the same number, which could be a symbolism that Kioma and John are the same person, as you suggested. .jp Japan. That's what we've devolved to at the moment.
John Titor came to Japan instead of America.
This show is going to be the death of me. But I love it so far. Ready?
Yeah.
Sweet. Oh, that's nice. 3-dimensional woman's one.
なんとかしてもらえませんか？この状況に混乱していると思う。金ゲートの選択だというのか。シュタインズゲート？英語が混在してるし。靴を脱げ。失礼。ずっとアメリカだったもので。
Ah, interesting.
彼のを見たというのが事実なのか。
Okay.
セクハラ行為の言い訳なのか。その確認。
She does love her TVs. That was a cool transition.
トリックを仕掛ける可能性がある。監視の目を緩めるな。そう。中はグズグズね。味は。
A real scientist.
このゾンビめ、腹が減っているならそう言え。誰が変態のバナナなんて言うもんですか。変態だと。いきなり人ので触ろうとして。
Dar's in love.
変態のバナナ。
God.
He might be my favorite character too.
Oh my
An
God.
upset
二人とも変態みたいね。いや。褒めてない。変態天才少女よ。誰が変態よ。
There was like this repetitiveness to what he just said.
すぐに訴えてもいいレベルだけど、今はだから詳しく教えて。
I like how quick it is.
そのレンジと関係があるのよね。特攻彼の秘密を知るには条件がある。貴様には
Yes, the lab member.
アメリカに帰る予定だけど、まだあるの？俺が貴様に全て不問にしろ。どうするクリスティーナ？だからティーナってつけるな。悪かったなザゾ。法王院変態狂魔。黙れ。
It's like a clock again.
仕方ないわね。ナンバー004。クレサテーナ。
The voice acting.
Oh no, she's gonna find out about her bananas.
結論ありきで考えるのは危険。冷凍唐揚げの時はテレビでしたんでしょ。あれお客さん。クリスです。いきなり押しかけてきてごめんなさい。女の子のラボメンだ。そんなに珍しいの子のラボメンです。そうなんだ。何？放電現象が起きていたらしい。昨日の昼だったかな。
Noon.
オカリンが人工衛星が墜落し、自分の携帯
During the crash, lightning the.
じゃああの携帯は電話レンジカッコ仮に。
Ah.
それたとかいうメール？再現してみた方が良さそうね。マユリ、ジューシー唐揚げナンバー1をここへ。逆回転時、中に入っているものの反応を見たい。俺の携帯にメールを。
Assistant.
あんたの助手になった。つうかあんたのクリスティーナは変態で。変態禁止って言っただろ。じゃあ、オカリンは変態。橋田さん、グッジョブ。じゃあ送信す。
Okay.
あとは携帯にメールが。かな。待て。関係。あった。受信日時。7月24日17時半。間違い。ああ、すべてが繋がった。見えたぞ。一連の出たバナナは房へと戻った。メールは5日前へと送られた。まさかそのまさかだ。この電話レンジカッコ仮はタイムマシンだ。
Yes.
季節呼び戻した方がいいんじゃね。無理に決まっているだ。
タイムマシンなんて。
Wow.
だこれは LHC の素粒子加速器。癒されるよね。
CERN.
タイタ。おお、この前言ってたやつ。今アットチャンネルで言っていた。セルンが2034年までにタイムマシンを完成させるとの略称。本部はジュネーブ郊外。名前のとおり世界的な設備をいくつも持っている。低速汎用ができるかもって噂もあったけどね。ブラックホール。
We talked about black holes in the first episode.
確かタイムトラベルをホールの生成が無理だって。だがしかし火のないところに煙は立たないと。セルンをハッキングしろ。以上だ。おかわりギャグだよな。
Sounds very illegal.
タイムマシンについてのヒントを手に入れろ。おかわり。
2階で何してるの？未来ガジェット研究所って言うんでしょ？
なぜその名前を。そこまで知られたからには仕方あるまい。界を影から操る闇の機関。
Zuha's eyes are crazy.
今もちょうどところでな。
CERN is the organization.
もしかしてセルンっていうのはその闇の機関のこと？
なぜそれを。
話し声聞こえてきちゃってさ。
記者というのか。
She's a super spy. Super
I
hacker,
love
super
her
spy.
so much.
口は硬いから。何？死亡通知でも来た？
死亡通知？
いや、冗談。
女がいてな。
IBN。
知っているのか。聞いていたのか。
違う。
Assumptions based off of history about the death of
Yeah.
Kurisu.
ジョン・タイターだっけ？
タイター。
なんかアットチャンネルに書いてたよ。
あれだタイターも。
固定観念に支配されているようです。たった一つの川が流れているようなものではありません。ここへ戻って A という人物を殺したとします。動が起こり、世界線は A という人物の意外世界へ行き、人々の記憶は再構築。
People's memories are altered.
人
Interesting.
物がいた以前の世界線の記憶は消去され、任意に信じてはいけません。すでに彼らはマイクロブラックホール生成主義が復活し、生活レベルが18世紀に戻ったといえば分かりやすいでしょうか。
IBN5100 が必要だというのか。
そうなります。には IBN5100 が
Interesting.
必要なのです。
ことを言っていた。
10年前に現れた私ですか。
That was Kiyoma's voice actor.
前にも言ったように、残念な
Yeah,
がら
it was.
私は二世界線の私を見た可能性があります。面白いです。あなたとは一度ゆっくりを。
Holy shit, dude. I love this show so much.
連絡いただければお返事し。
Oh, we
Everything's so
need to
quick.
read. We need to read all
Yeah.
of that.
2015 World War III.
Is he actually hacking CERN?
連続徹夜って聞いたから差し入れ買ってきたよ。
Thank you.
ページも買わなきゃいけないし。
You see, Upa?
なので大事。メラメラバーニングしちゃってるね。
It's like a bright light. So glad that wasn't glass.
にだな。
また来てくれるかな、クリスちゃん。
牛筋を交換だ。
それならうずらがいいな。
ダメだ。これは牛筋の次にうずらで手を打ってくれ。
薩摩よりはちくわかな。
いつだ。
じゃあマユシーの牛筋。
もういただいた。
いつの間に。
なかなかうまかったぞ。
Betrayal. Love. Victory.
来た。ID ゲット。やったのか。ミッションコンプリート。れば見られる範囲は限られるつか、おっぱいしか見えない的な。良好だ。こいつはあくまで猫みたいに痕跡のような文章はないのか。
You need code
シ
words.
ンって単語はないけど、1ヶ月で100回以上使われている。グラム実験レポート。すでに確立しているため、報告は発表されてるのにな。その先は実験結果。
Human is dead. Miss Smith.
死んだ。
Okay, that was season 1, episode 3 of Steins Gate. I love this show. I like it.
I do too.
It's a lot.
I know. I feel like I don't want to like leave the world because I feel like I'm slowly getting integrated into understanding
Yeah.
what everything means, and then we're also getting accustomed to recognizing that information gets flashed in like 0.2 seconds of a frame, and then you can only see it really if you stop the episode and like checked out what it said.
Yeah. Error. Human is dead. Mismatch. Jellyman.
Jellyman. I was about to say Jellyman.
Who is Jellyman?
Who is Jellyman?
I need to know about Jellyman. Is he similar to Alpaca Man? What's the, you know... I don't know. I don't know if we get the rest of the report in like a clearer frame because of how quick they were going.
Mm-hmm.
But mismatch, I feel like, is a decent amount of information in of itself. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on what that means?
Just the whole language is really interesting. Like, why use the term human? Human is dead. You're not supposed to... Are we supposed to be under the impression that one singular insignificant human is dead? Humanity is dead? Human in reference, like,
Mismatch
you're not
is
human
what
and
is
you're
weird to
writing
me.
about humans?
Like, what do you mean by mismatch? Like, do you need somebody specific? Like, do you need somebody who is like Mayuri, perhaps, or Ocarine, and they're, like, different for some reason?
Right, like, if Ocarine... So we learned in the episode, the idea of the possibility that someone could retain the memories of the different world lines being affected. If you died in one of your world lines, would you have memory of your own death? Therefore, you could make sure it didn't happen?
I don't know.
Like, if Ocarine, like, had the possibility of his own death?
Yeah. I definitely see a meeting with him and John coming up, though, after that. It was a good catch that his voice actor was the one talking, so we could discern that it was him typing. And then you get the idea that, oh, he is special, Ocarine, you know, and that will probably
And that they
lead
aren't
to
the
a
same
meeting.
person. Which I was, like, thinking maybe they were.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna meet yourself... Or, I mean, it could be a meeting with yourself. But wouldn't John Titor know the other aliases that he would use if he was Kiyama?
Perhaps. Maybe. What do you think about the actual instance of with Kurisu about like the big explosion, I guess? That was crazy.
My main focus of that whole interaction was, weirdly enough, just the reasons and trying to think of the emotions and reasons for her running away after. So we should probably just talk about the actual before she ran away.
Yeah.
Because that was like one of the main things that I was focused on after the fact, was trying to figure out the emotional reasons for why running away.
Yeah. When it happened, like, okay, so this episode did a lot to make me less suspicious of Mayuri. You know what I mean? But within that, my suspicion of her for the first two episodes had one little thing to latch on to, and that was her interruption of the process they were going to do right here. Because she opened the microwave up, which caused the explosion. You know? And I know that was just because she's silly and, like, made a mistake.
I know, they've created a very kind of innocent character with her, possibly not a very bright character. Like, obviously you're not going to open the microwave. Like, she would know that they're doing an experiment. Why would she go and open the microwave, you know, unless she had an ulterior motive reason, or they're painting her as a character that's not very bright.
Yeah. In the actual episode, I thought that we got to see Upa being disappeared, but it's actually just a light bulb exploding, I think. So I'm like, God.
You thought it was going to fit and parallel the first episode.
Suzuha is, like, one of my favorite characters.
What was up with that conversation?
The whole, like, did you get a message that somebody died? My first intuition or, like, inkling was Kurisu and the whole message from there. But by the end of the episode, I'm like, okay, was she too soon if she is from the future? And she was alluding to the message that was read about a human dying at the end of the episode.
Right.
You know? I don't know. she's a really
it's
interesting
like
character.
she's like, I'm bored, I spied on you guys, that's how I overheard all this stuff. And she can pass all that off because she has gotten a job, where he even says to the owner, Mr. Braun, he was like, did you really need to hire someone? Like, you don't have enough business.
Yeah.
So it makes you kind of think as a viewer, did this character wiggle her way into working there on purpose because it's in close proximity to the lab, and she can use the fact that since she's in close proximity, I overheard this stuff, I was spying on you guys, and not that she previously knew any of it.
Yeah, maybe. I wanted to get also the information about like the whole World War III thing that happened, but before we get
it
there,
blipped so quickly.
Yeah, before we get there though, Kurisu, why do you think she ran away?
So, one of my takes was she is painted as a very confident intellectual, probably put down a lot, and she kind of presents herself in a manner that, like, I can compete. I can compete in wit. I can compete in words. Like, she's very quick back to Daru and Kyomo in this, like, pervert conversation.
Yeah.
And she's very, like, I can hang with you guys. Like, I can be a part of this. Like, and she's very confident in this manner. So I thought that maybe possibly facing the fact that something she so confidently believed and even lectured people on to be possibly false, and that she's wrong.
Yeah.
She could have run away because she couldn't comprehend that, or it was too crazy to her to be put in front of this idea of you're wrong, basically, in big letters, like, you were wrong about this.
Yeah.
There could be some, like, self-doubt with that whole thing.
Could be like she's like locked away trying to rework all of her studies and work and her theories.
She could have run away in order to figure out where she went wrong.
Yeah.
Because obviously we saw that board after she was lecturing back and forth to Kyomo. We got the picture of the board where she had obviously drawn out all of this reasoning for her saying that it's impossible.
Yeah.
And, that's a great point to bring up, that maybe she went back to her own room or her own lab in order to figure out where she went wrong with her own guesses.
Yeah. At one point, I was like, because of how we don't know anything and we're just trying to make guesses, I was like, is there any way Suzuha is Ruka, like, in the future or something? You know what I mean? Like, because we've already had the idea of
I think Ruka's eyes were like a gray-brown.
Gotcha, okay. Suzuha's eyes are crazy, too. But
they're like a light brown-yellow color.
Yeah. But the information that we got here that went by quick. In 2015, World War III occurs.
When did this show come out?
In 2036, Earth is polluted by nuclear warfare. I've time traveled from 2036 to get an IBN 5100. The IBN 5100 has a hidden function. Only a few IBN engineers know this. And that kind of puts what's her name in a unique situation. Moeka, the girl on the street who was texting, because she mentioned the IBN as well a bunch, and she was the one with the pictures. So I wonder if she, probably from the future, but also could be an engineer of sorts.
The proximity of some of these really terrible things happening. I'm pretty sure when we get in the first episode the dates and times, we also got the year that it currently was, which I believe was either 2007, 2010. I think it might have been 2007. And then if he's saying that World War III happens 2015, like, and then we're getting 2036 is another big date. So we're getting all these dates that are, in actuality, not too far in the future.
Yeah.
That you're trying to, and so that's why when they're like hacking and they're like, wow, wait, when they say that they put out in the public that we haven't figured out the mini black hole, like, we haven't done that. But then do we really believe that?
Yeah. If
a World War III is happening in 2015 and then in 2036, basically destruction.
What caused it,
It does make them think maybe they actually have figured it out.
We got an emphasis on the like mixing German with Japanese from Okarin's like dialect, which is probably why he like says hacker the wrong way. Probably, right?
Yeah. And then we get that
Baru.
I don't know if this has any importance, but obviously John Titor in one timeline, one world line, wrote books in America.
Yeah.
Appeared in America. Kurisu just recently came from America and is going to be returning in August. I don't know if that has any if it means anything other than just she's a top scientist, a top brain, and so she travels a lot.
Could be John appears in a specific place for a reason, wherever Kurisu potentially isn't. Maybe Kurisu works for this company or something at CERN somehow, you know?
Is CERN the one that stabs her?
Maybe. I don't know. I think it is interesting though. I would love to know why John didn't go back to 2000 this time, because he said he like, oh, I wish I could have, like, or something like I'm, you know, not quoting exact words here, I'm paraphrasing, but I wonder if like he even had a choice where he got to end up, you know, or just said,
interesting,
put me somewhere in the past.
What if you can't actually completely dictate
The
when
details.
exactly the details of when you travel back? Maybe you can pick a general idea, but not like specifics.
Maybe he couldn't because he was doing it in a hurry or was doing it in a way that wasn't like how this top company who has the monopoly over it would do it, you know?
Or maybe this John Titor, maybe there's some time in his path of his timeline of his life where he was able to figure things out sooner and then when it's 2007 and he's not very big and he's still messaging on message boards.
Yeah.
So maybe there was a point in his world line that it diverged where he was able to figure out time travel and went to 2000, and then one where he's still figuring it out.
This show is like really like got me so into it like a few episodes in. It's kind of crazy.
I think you like to be able to like be challenged to think about things. I mean, I like it as well.
I like having details in shows. I like when being aware of details pays off.
It pays off to pay attention. I mean,
Yeah.
It also pays off, it seems, to after you're done with the show, look for all the little tiny times
exactly.
the cuts,
Yeah.
and then actually read what messages flash, because like they're so quick. I don't understand exactly why the timing of translations are so quick. Like, or do they want us to have to go back and reread it?
I guarantee you we would be a lot more perceptive or catch a lot more visual cues if this was the dub. And in my personal experience, I'm really glad that we're watching the sub. Of course, I'd love to watch the dub afterwards just for my own curiosity, but like we'd be given more time to notice on-screen things if we weren't also trying to spend 3 seconds reading the dialogue given as well.
True.
Right? But I don't know, man. I assume that the thing that we got, the little frame that we got of Maori and Ocarine when the grocery bag was being like switched off last episode, I assume that that's a frame from the apocalyptic world in the future.
I'm going to assume that too.
Yeah.
After World War III, sometime after that in the future, everything's been destroyed.
So the time thing did work at first, right? The phone?
It did work.
At like their first attempt, right?
Well, now, once this all happened and everything broke after this first attempt, he can't get it to work again.
Gotcha.
I think he had to rebuild some things, possibly, and now he can't get it to work.
Interesting. Do you think that there's anything weird about Maori? Or do you think, like, I'm reaching in that sense?
At the moment, I think anything's fair game to speculate that a character might know more than what they let on to know.
Yeah.
We could just be, like, being completely shown her actual personality, and she's maybe the perfect example of what we learned, I think, in this episode about how people's memories are basically switched once something is changed on the world line.
Yeah.
And she could be kind of our honest, innocent example of seeing that.
Yeah. So interesting.
Because she doesn't seem like a liar. So if he asked her a question like, did we go to the radio building? And she says, no, we didn't do that today. It's like she's our example of what could have been switched and what the general public believes is the truth.
Maybe it's like not an extra weirdness feeling because it's anything malicious. Maybe she's like the key. Maybe she brings us like the answer. Maybe she will like give us insight about time and like, you know, the clock she was looking at. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good episode.
Yep.
Suzuha's my favorite character. Do you have one?
Mayuri at the moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I hope that I begin to truly understand
This?
Yes.
Me too. But part of me likes not understanding, you know?
I like trying to figure it out. Discover it.
Yeah.
Unlock it. Be a scientist.
Or a diet scientist.
Or a
right?
diet scientist.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we hope to see you next time.